that time once again for the Aflac Cup Series here in Daytona for race 1 out of 3 of the Aflac Cup Series Chase for the Cup. We have a great race for you today. 9 laps of entertainment here at Daytona International Raceway. All 22 cars are lined up and fired up for today's race here in this exciting race to see who can possibly win the chase. Now, after last race at Pocono, 7 cars advanced into the chase. That is Jimmie Johnson, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Tony Stewart just slipping in to make the chase. All those drivers were advanced up to 250 points each so that they have an equal match going into the chase, putting them ahead of the rest. Congratulations to those drivers fighting it all season. All of them have at least one win this season except for Joey Logano and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And then here are the rest of your points drivers. Austin Dillon with 72 points. Jamie McMurray, 4 points behind him. Then Clint Bowyer, Kurt Busch, Kasey Kahne, Chase Elliott just joining the season today. He'll be taking over from Jeff Gordon, retiring after last race. Then you have Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Paul Menard, Greg Biffle, Danny Kirkpatrick, Ryan Newman, David Reagan, and then joining the series today in the number 20 car, Matt Kenseth. He will be starting today's race with 0 points in the standings. Unfortunate for him. So here are your 7 drivers making it into the chase. You have Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the National Guard number 88 Chevrolet, then Joey Logano in the 22 Pennzoil Ford, Kyle Busch in the M&M's Toyota, then Jimmie Johnson in the 48 Chevy car, Kevin Harvick in the Jimmie Johnson number 4, Brad Keselowski in the Blue Deuce number 2, and Tony Stewart in the Bass Pro Shops number 14. For today's race, everyone will begin in the location they are placed in points. Are you ready? I think I am. Let's look at your race details. So your race details. This is a 9-lap race around the circuit. There are 22 drivers as of today. This is race 8 of 10 this season. And this is the Aflac 500 at Daytona. So, green flag in the air. Let's get this thing on the road. The 2017 Chase for the Cup is on its way. Jimmie Johnson pulls out ahead of the field but has Kevin Harvick to worry about. Here it comes, lap 1 completed by Jimmie Johnson. And already a crash. It's Jamie McMurray, Dale Jr., Austin Dillon, and Kurt Busch. One of your points drivers, that is Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 involved. Here's the replay. You see Jamie McMurray just did not know Jr. was there and came up too high, causing a huge wreck before we even completed our first lap. Wow. Well, 3 of those guys are going to the garage. Kurt Busch will still be continuing since he has minimum damage. So, green flag. You see Jimmie Johnson in the front, sorry about that. And now here we are. Lap 5 completed. Here comes Kyle Busch in the 18 M&M's car. That blue car on the inside coming up. Brad Keselowski giving him a big push on the inside. And a crash. There is Kasey Kahne spinning out across the tri-oval at the front of the track through pit road. Let's look at your replay. Just came down a little too low onto Kurt Busch and got spun out. A wild day for Kurt Busch, I gotta say. And Kasey Kahne will still be continuing just from the rear. And now let's go green once again here for a green-white checkered. Last 2 laps. Here comes Jimmie Johnson trying to do something big. Make up the time lost. He is trying to get around Kyle Busch, but is not being able to get there. Here comes Kevin Harvick. 2 teams right there. Stuart Haas pushing him. And a huge crash across the finish line. And your winner is Kevin Harvick, winning at Daytona. Tony Stewart goes upside down across the line. Wow, let's look at the replay. You see Tony Stewart was just giving Kevin Harvick a major push up to the front. Got a little loose from Matt Kenseth behind him. And just calling a huge wreck. Flips upside down a couple times in front of Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth. Chase Elliott just pushing him across the line. Wow, multiple cars involved. But where it all counts, Kevin Harvick is your winner of today's race, leading only the last lap. So your finishing order: let's take a look at it because that was a crazy finish. Kevin Harvick won the race. Then it's Kyle Busch in the photo finish at the finish line. Then Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth, who started last place and worked his way up to the front through the entire 9 laps of this race, finished 5th, where it all counts. Then Clint Bowyer, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Tony Stewart, who is going to finish at least 3rd, ended up finishing 9th for flipping there at the finish. Then Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch worked his way up a little bit after wrecking there at the beginning of the race. Then Casey Kane, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Greg Biffle, Paul Menard, Danica Patrick, David Reagan, and then the last 3 got a DNF finish for not finishing the race for wrecking there at the beginning. Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Austin Dillon in the 3-car. Unfortunate for those 3, especially Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is in the chase. Those other 2 aren't in the chase. And Kevin Harvick, your race winner, doing some burnouts there at the stripes. He definitely deserved it after a stressful race to win this thing and put it in the books as a victory. So your point standings here. These are your chase drivers. You see Kevin Harvick leading by 5 points to Kyle Busch. Then Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Tony Stewart, and unfortunately for Dale Earnhardt Jr. with only 252 points, behind from being behind Tony Stewart with 264 points and the leader 278 points. So he has some work to do. He might have to win at least one of the next 2 races and get a top 5 finish in the race that he doesn't win in. Who knows? Maybe he'll make a comeback. So here are the rest of your drivers: Clint Bowyer, Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, Jamie McMurray, Casey Kane, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Martin Truex Jr., Paul Menard, Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Danica Patrick, David Reagan, and Matt Kenseth getting some points on the board for just starting this race. 65 points behind 8th place. So that does it for today's race. We are on our way to New Hampshire next week, followed by the final race of the season in Indianapolis. We'll see you then. And thanks for tuning in for another Aflac Cup Series race.